Hey guys, it's Adrian. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I'm back in front of my bookshelves. I haven't been here since September, so go me. Anyway, today I'm here to bring you my January TBR. Here's the deal for January. I'm sort of still coming out of the almost 2-month-long reading slump, so I want to be careful about what I pick. I'm picking books that I could be interested in. I might also change it up a little bit. There are a bunch of books that I'm already in the middle of, so I will definitely be reading. There are other books that I would like to read, and there are other books somewhere in the middle. You know the drill. Let's start off with the books that I am currently in the middle of. These you probably will see briefly in my December wrap-up, depending on when that video actually goes up. And the first one being Leaping Wolf by J.P. Harker. This is the second book to the Caledon saga. The first book being Wildcat. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this. I do have an entire spoiler-free speed review for Wildcat up that went up, I think, towards the end of the summer. It was spoilers for my top 10 videos. Wildcat was one of my top 10 books of the year. This is an indie author, so if you are looking for indie authors to support, go check out that spoiler-free speed review. But this is a continuation of that story. So far, I am 165 pages in. It started off rather slow, but the first book did as well. This is definitely a slow-paced, character-based story, but very rich, very immersive. Like I said, go check out that spoiler-free review and keep your eyes out for my top 10 video because I raved about it and I really enjoyed this book. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one. Hopefully I can finish it within the next week. I am currently also in the middle of The Wind Singer by William Nicholson. This one was in my giant UK book haul that I got from a friend of mine who went to the UK this summer. And I didn't really know what it was about, but I was categorizing my unread books on my bookshelf, and these ones kind of jumped at me, and so I looked them up, and these are middle grade books. I'm not a huge middle grade book fan, but this talks a whole lot about standardized testing, and that really intrigued me. Basically, this is about a little girl named Kestrel, and she comes from a place where your family is ranked based on your testing scores. The first test is around 2 years old, and you keep being tested, and if you test higher, you can progress in life. If you have lower tests, then your family gets demoted, basically. And there are all these different colors. It's actually really quite interesting for a middle grade story. Anyway, there is this tower called the Wind Singer, and it was rumored that once the Wind Singer sang, but it lost its voice. A whole complicated story that I can't go into too much without getting all spoilery, but I am over halfway through it. I started it January 1st. It's a quick little middle grade book, but I am really, surprisingly enough, enjoying it. I sort of have Narnia vibes, even though this is not anywhere close or anywhere as magnificent as Narnia, but I am enjoying it, and I'm not a huge middle grade fan. I think this would be great for one of my daughters to read. It's a trilogy. As far as I know, I have 3 of the books. I don't know if there are any more, but I have 3, so I'm going to try to fly my way through these series. If you're looking for a middle grade book, I would suggest this one. Stay tuned for my January wrap-up so you'll know what I feel about it in general, but so far so good. Speaking of middle grade, my family and I are in the middle of the second Land of Stories book. In the middle I mean 13 pages in. We started it last night. This is Land of Stories, The Empress Returns. We read the first one in April, I think. I have a whole spoiler-free speed review for The Land of Stories, The Witching Spell, the first book in the series as well. Go check that out. I am excited to read this one. I was hoping that it would come out in an audiobook on the subscription that I have, but alas, it's not there, so we decided to read it together as a family because we couldn't wait anymore. So through the month of January, we're hoping to read 1 or 2 chapters a night so we can get through the book by the end of the month. Next up for the month of January is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This is the last book to the Mortal Instruments series. I have been listening to all of these on audio, so this one will be audio as well. I'm not a huge fan of the narrator, but it saves a lot of time. Because I did it on audio, I could fly through the series. I have to say, I don't hate the series. I don't love the series. I definitely don't love the series. It's more young adult-ish for my feeling than the Infernal Devices was. And I really liked that one a lot better. But I am dying to read Lady Midnight so I can move on to the rest of the series because Queen of Air and Darkness just came out, and I'd like to read that one as well. So I'm working on it. Anyway, this book I will complete in January. This way I can finally be done with the Mortal Instruments series. Go me! Also in January, if it comes in on time, I am reading the book that will be on most people's TBR, and that is The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book to the I don't even know what the series is called. Anyway, the first book is The Cruel Prince, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite book. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as everybody else did, but I have been in the mood for some fairy books. as you will see in the rest of my TBR. So I am looking forward to getting a hold of that. I have pre-ordered it, but it comes from Book Depository, so it'll take a couple weeks to actually get here. If I get it on time, I'll be reading it in January. If it doesn't come in on time, I'll read it in February. Speaking of fairy books, in order to hold me over while I patiently or impatiently await for The Wicked King, I am going to be reading The Enchantment of Radiance by Margaret Rogerson. This one was on my Magical Readathon Christmas at Hogwarts edition TBR that I didn't do quite that fantastic on. My week was really busy. I knew it was gonna make, but I did try. I participated. That's all that counts. So this one's carrying over. This one I don't know a whole lot about. I can't remember. It's about fairies. I know she paints and something to do with that. A lot of people have read it. It has a lot of mixed reviews, but I'm in the mood for some fae book, so I'm gonna pick this one up. And lastly, on my January TBR, I would like to get to The Treachery of Beautiful Things by Ruth Francis Long. This one, if I remember correctly, is about a girl whose brother goes missing in the woods. One day he just poof disappears, and she can't find him. One day she goes to the woods and she poof disappears as well, and they end up in fairyland. Again, this one has mixed reviews, but it did interest me, so I bought it last year, and I would finally like to get to read it. So those are all of the books that are on my January TBR. I am excited about a lot of them. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of take it as it comes. If I want to read a different book, I'll read a different book. I just want to keep myself from falling into another reading slump. I am going back to work in January. I had 2 weeks off because my kids had Christmas holiday at school, so I don't know how much reading I'll actually get to, but hopefully more than in October and November. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have not yet, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.